for the ride home in ENC.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
This is your 5 o'clock drive with Patrick Johnson.
Holy mackerel!
More news, more interviews, more ECU stories than you can shake a stick at. Hey, stop shaking that stick. This is the Patrick Johnson Show.
Pirates win! Pirates win!
On 94.3 The Game.
All right, hello again, everybody, and welcome into Tiebreakers. It is the Patrick Johnson Show here on 94.3 The Game, on air, online, 94.3thegame.com, and the IBX Media app. We got out of the rain all right. It was not good earlier, but just cloudy and overcast. We are at Tiebreakers, where tonight we're giving away in our in-house drawing the good-looking USA ECU hat in the Americana flag. This will be during the coaches show tonight inside Pirate Athletics. Got a Anson belt and the Pirate rope hat, which is a lavender and gold. But for my money, the Americana hat is the bomb.
I'm with you.
The great Philip Pilkington in the house. Let's bring you up a little, Pilk. There we go. Pilk is here. I like this setup. You and I are in the same room. This is good.
I know. We don't get to do this much anymore.
No, we don't.
We used to do this a lot more, just through various different things. And I think maybe when basketball season rolls around, we'll be around each other a little more. But hey, actually, it sounds like we're going to be doing this every Monday, so this is fun.
And we got Dom Szoke back in the studios. And we'll hear from Dom during the top five. There he is, Dom Szoke. I thought earlier today it was going to be in fashion and in vogue to bag on Minnesota and the play of their quarterback was apparently hurt. So that's why he played so poorly.
Dom, is that the reason he played terribly? For a game that Patrick was already asleep for last night?
I watched a little bit of that last night.
It's not the reason he played poorly. The offensive line was bad. He got smacked up, and when he got hurt...
They got sacked, 6 times?
Yeah, backup left tackle, backup center, and he just got hurt bad, and the bad plays were mostly after his injury. He wasn't playing that bad before the injury. Just pointing that out.
Well, here's what's scary. He's a pass away from being the NFC offensive player of the week again.
Yeah.
In last night's game. I mean, really, that's how. I guess it's going to be Russ.
Yeah.
Even though they lost.
Him, or if you just don't give it to Malik Neighbors. I mean, Oh my goodness, 137 or 139, I think. A couple touchdowns.
Didn't Russ pass for? Was it 250 or 350?
450.
450.
Yeah.
450?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's 450.
Wow. Yeah, it's got to be Russ then.
Yeah.
Go with Russ. Russ ain't washed. Pack of Badgers or whatever he said that.
Yeah, well, hey, the Steeler fans and the Bronco fans will hugely disagree with you. Yeah, 450 exactly on a dot.
The
Steelers
apparently have their own issues. Right
yeah.
now. Speaking of issues in football, and we'll get into a lot of this and some of the individual breakdowns and all of that. We got 2 games tonight on Monday Night Football. Tampa at Houston, where our friend of the show, Cornell Powell, is on the Houston, practice squad. And then tonight it's the Chargers in Vegas. I think they ought to do, on the reg, a Monday night doubleheader, 7 and 10.
I like it.
I do too.
The tough thing is, how much money you're losing by putting an NFL game on that late.
I don't think you are. You're getting the whole western half of the country.
You are. I think the one argument is going to be the only people I guess are going to argue it's going to be YouTube TV. They're going to say that's one more game that's not part of Sunday Ticket that you're putting in prime time. Because remember during the COVID thing they did that. Remember they had a couple games get postponed in the middle of the week. They put them on national television, and then when the Pittsburgh-Washington game got moved to a Monday night as well as a normal Monday night game, they said, okay, this is it. We're drawing the line. If you're in these markets, you get the game. If you've got Sunday Ticket, you get the game. But nobody else could. So, I was back at home that week, and it was the heart of COVID. So there was, one bar in town that had Sunday Ticket, and the game kicked at, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But Monday night, it is, Redskins everywhere. And Steeler fans, too. And there's a lot of Pittsburgh fans in Charlotte just, piled in for this Monday night 5 p.m. kickoff because nobody could get the game unless you had Sunday Ticket.
Right, unless you had the Sunday Ticket. I'll tell you somebody who will not be on primetime and should not be. Actually, they will be later in the year, but they should not be. Are your stinky Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Now, Truth be told, I did not watch the second half at all because I watched them mismanage. And this isn't Bryce Young, and we bag on Bryce Young all the time, and we should. But this was just, they mismanaged the end of the first half badly.
Oh, 100%. Now,
they're down, what was it, 10, 13-3?
13-3, yeah.
It's very manageable at that point. You just go into halftime, you regroup. Panthers do nothing, give it back, and then very surgically, Murray and the Cards go down and score right before the half. Well, touchdown.
To your point, you mismanaged the clock and gave him as much time as you did. But then the other thing was the guy goes out there, nukes the punt, and outkicks his coverage.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't anybody within 30 yards of the guy. You've got to punt there because if you have the normal punt, you hope they just run the clock out and go to the half. But even if they are able to chip away and get into field goal range and settle for 3, we're having a totally different conversation right now because you're in field goal range at the end of the game. You could have possibly, you're looking at what would end up being a 16-3 deficit and a 20-3 deficit. Also, there's probably some times in there you're not going for 2. I mean, this totally changes. But, I was pleased we recovered an onside kick. I have never seen the Panthers recover an onside kick.
Oh, period.
Period. It happened once when I was 2 months old. And it happened again a few years ago. They were playing Washington, and they were down 3 scores with like 2 minutes left.
I thought you were hatched.
No, we were like, we'll beat the traffic out. We'll bounce. Right. And they did recover it, but I was walking out of the stadium, so I did not see it.
So, yeah, I get Chuba Hubbard is probably criminally underrated.
Yeah.
I get that Young shows flashes, but this is not a good roster.
No.
Yeah, I don't think it's that strong of a staff.
No.
And I just, I think.
Some things, he's a young guy. You got to give him, look, the issue is he's not bad when he's got time.
It's not like you're going anywhere anytime soon. It's not like you're floundering talent because there ain't no talent on that roster.
But, I mean, 2 of your better offensive linemen are now hurt. We'll get to that in segment 3. We'll talk about it more with Szoke here, and then we'll get to it our 5 at 5. But he's going to have time to throw the football. And, look, he looked abysmal in the first half. The second half, he looked like a competent quarterback, but he had time.
Well, that's the issue.
Yeah, and great quarterbacks can do it when they're under duress. But the other thing, too, it's one thing to be under duress a few times a game and have to step up and make the throw, but you're under duress every play. It's hard to get in a groove. When you can't run the ball because you can't block, it's hard to get in a groove. When the defense can't get off the dang field, it's hard to get in a groove. Like, you got to – I'm going to cut him a little slack, but then also he's got to get in the groove to keep the defense off the field and to open up the run game. But I just feel like it is a team effort right now of crappiness.
Well, and again, I put a lot of what happened at the end of the half totally on the coaches.
Yeah.
That was just mismanagement. And the punt. Well, I mean, but still, whole thing was mismanaged.
Yeah.
Poorly managed. And so I listened at the end, which you could hardly tell what was going on, but it sounded more like a telecast than a radio cast, but that's just my personal preference. And, but I mean, you get in a position and then you give up the sack on 4th down, but so be it.
No, off topic, we mentioned the Russell Wilson thing.
Yeah.
Goff threw for 5 touchdowns yesterday. It's probably going to be Goff.
Jared Goff?
Yeah. Amon-Ra had
Yeah, because they did on the NFC side, and they hammered the Bears.
They said, Ben Johnson, welcome back.
Yes.
And you. Here, we're going for it on 4th down by 40.
If you're into the gambling yesterday, you ticked Detroit.
Yeah.
You knew Detroit at home, already 0-1.
Yeah.
Was not going to go to 0-2.
Well, I took Kansas City thinking they weren't going to go to 0-2.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
So what happens there now? Is it over?
No, I think the issue is, last couple of years they've struggled to blow teams out. And in order to be a true dominant team in the NFL, you got to blow teams out. But they have, fortunately, until week 1 had gone something like 15 consecutive one-score games they had won. That's not realistic to continue to do again and again and again.
Right.
So they're just going to have to get back to learning how to put teams away early and quit getting these close games. Like, they're going to win more close games than lose. They're a good football team. But you get in one-score games with other really good football teams, a.k.a. the defending Super Bowl champions, a.k.a. a very good Chargers team. It's going to go – it's 50-50, right? You can't put yourself in those 50-50 situations. Go out there, prove you're the better team, and beat the crap out of somebody and quit worrying about Tay-Tay showing up with her big screens so that nobody can see her walking in the stadium.
Interesting that game was on Fox in Kansas City.
It's usually – historically, it's the away team.
Right.
So with Philly being the away team,
that's why.
Yeah.
And thus the Panthers were on CBS.
Yeah.
I think for the only time this year they'll be on CBS. And CBS is probably very happy about the fact that it'll be the only time they'll be on CBS this year. But I'll tell you this, Fox only cares because they got the Aaron Andrews interviewing Kelsey.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing they cared about yesterday was, can we get that moment in that interview that nobody in this audience probably cares about?
No, they got that interview and they got to put the Cowboys on at 1:00.
So they were very happy. Huge day for Fox yesterday. Yeah. Huge day. We have not talked about the Pirates as we probably should. We'll get into some specific things, top five, but obviously a very convincing win. Defensively, and look, Coastal's not I don't think, a good football team right now. And that's fine, because you didn't go there and horse around and cost yourself something. You went, you got to win, come back home, and now you got some momentum. 2 wins in a row and BYU coming. Yeah,
look, you're right. They're not a good team, but what do good teams do? They beat bad teams badly.
Right.
38 points. Yeah. That's badly, right? The only downside of that game is there was an injury, right? The thing is with these games, you get out, you win them, you stay healthy. From what we know, I think just one injury. We're going to get more information on that middle of the week. Blake Harrell was asked about it today and said he didn't really have any update on Lacey, but they are expecting it to, he's not playing this week. But other than that, you got out, you did what you had to do. Were you perfect? No. Does the scoreboard make it look like you were perfect? It does. So, hey, move on and get ready for the next one.
The good thing I think about this whole thing is you get an opportunity to come back here. Parents' weekends, you're already going to have a good crowd. I'm hearing mid-40s right now, and that's before student pickup.
Yep.
So now I don't know if those projections are what they're projecting for the student, but the student pickup hasn't happened yet. So I think the feeling is, okay, well, we could get 43 to 45, and then if you have a strong walk, which you should have a strong walk-up.
Yeah.
BYU, unlike Notre Dame, dropped out of the top 25. They didn't play.
Yeah.
Where Notre Dame lost again and didn't drop out of the top 25. Somebody else got beat, too, and didn't drop all that much. Clemson and South Carolina totally dropped out.
They did, yeah. South Florida
dropped out. Yeah, South Florida should not have dropped out either, but they did.
Yeah. So there was a couple teams that were right on the cusp that got big wins that it did bring them up, but still, yeah. I think BYU kind of got hosed. But Blake said it today, this is still a top 25 team. Regardless, there's a little number next to them. They're a top 25 team, and they're going to come in, and you got to be ready. And, interesting, you bring up the walk-up thing. BYU, we don't talk about being a national brand, but it is.
Sure.
And I don't know in Greenville and in eastern North Carolina how much of a Mormon population there is, but there's a lot in Charlotte. And I will just speak from experience of growing up with a lot of Mormon families is even the ones who aren't avid BYU fans who didn't go to BYU, if it's one of those where BYU's got a big game or their team's not playing, they're going to tune in. And I can guarantee if BYU were to go play at Bank of America Stadium, they would 100% go. So I don't know if those people are making the drive out to Eastern North Carolina, but the Triangle people, and I'm sure there's some Mormon families around here.
There are. Yeah.
I just know less people in Greenville than I do in Charlotte, obviously. So
I thought you knew everybody.
No.
I thought.
That's Parker Eason that knows everybody. I hang out with him, and he introduces me to everybody.
And thus you then know them.
Yeah, I do. True.
Who got married this week? You were at a wedding this week?
Yeah.
Not yours?
No, I was not at mine.
Okay.
No. Pilk needs a girlfriend before a wedding.
No, you don't.
ECU golf alum Nick Brown, former Carolina's amateur champion.
Got married?
Yeah, got married.
Was there a golf theme to this thing?
There was not. The rehearsal dinner was at Brook Valley.
Okay.
So there was that.
It's a golf theme.
But, now he is on to I'm not going to give away his location, but, he's going to a more southern and tropical place than we are here.
Good for him.
On his way this morning.
Good for him.
Yeah.
All right, Dom Kasulki back in the studios. Philip is here with me at Tiebreakers. We've got Inside Pirate Athletics coming up at 6 o'clock. We're hitting a break. Jim Szoke will talk Pirates. I guess we'll talk Panthers, and we will talk with Szoke on the other side.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville. Do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout eastern North Carolina. You get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
We're back to the show.
I missed you. We all missed you. Did you miss them?
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back alongside Philip the Ref Pilkington here at Tiebreakers, Patrick Johnson and the Patrick Johnson Show. David Horn is also here, refusing to come on and talk to Jim Szoke, which, okay, I get it. And Jim Szoke is with us here. Jim, boy, it kind of finished exciting yesterday, but boy, what a doozy of a first half that was for the Panthers. But hey, you had the short 3-hour drive back, so you were cooking with gas this weekend.
I had extra energy to burn, yeah. Unlike the Panthers, who came out to the same kind of first half they played in the first week at Jacksonville, kind of repeat being down at the half the way that they were. But, yeah, and then they fall behind even further, 27-3, so they're down 24 points. And somehow make a run at it to get 3 touchdowns and at least make a game out of it. But, I mean, that's just a deep hole to dig out of, and unfortunately, got the news today that 2 of the starting offensive linemen are going to be out, Austin Corbett and Robert Hunt. So on top of the fact they lost the game, lost 2/5 of their starting offensive line in that game.
So that duo will be out at least, 4 weeks each, the next 4 weeks?
They haven't said exactly they'll go on injured reserve. I'm thinking longer. I think it's going to be a while.
Okay, but at least 4 weeks. At least 4 weeks, I guess.
Maybe season for Corbett in particular. So we'll see on that one.
Yeah, because his is an MCL, isn't it, or something with the knee?
Yeah, yep, MCL tear, and then I should say that, and then Robert Hunt, who was a Pro Bowl guard last year, a torn biceps. So it'll be both cases at the very least deep into the season, if not all of it.
In the background.
Now, wait a minute. What is this, Jim? Usually you're in a car. What's going on now? Did you hit a dog? Is that what happened? Are you in the car and ran over a dog?
Those are my dogs. They want to be broadcast. They want to broadcast. Gus and Hank want to broadcast.
Who let the dogs out? Jim Szoke. He's got a dog named Hank. Who let the dogs in? That's the question there for the great Jim Szoke. So Jim, what is it that the Panthers did a lot better, in your opinion, yesterday? Second half that they maybe weren't doing in the first half? Because, as you say, for the second week in a row, came out listless, and then we were just talking about it on here. I mean, you talk about between the execution of the punt, as Pilk so expertly pointed out, but then also just the management of everything at the end of the first half. I mean, you're manageable. You're right there, down 10, less than 2, and then all of a sudden they score again because of the out kicking your coverage, as it were, and just I thought really bad management at the end of the first half.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they let them come down and get that touchdown right before the end of the half to make it 20-3,
so frustrating,
and that felt like they're just trying to get in the field goal range and just kind of taking a shot at the end zone, and you only got that small piece of turf to cover at that point, so you wouldn't think somebody would get behind you in the end zone in such a tight space like that, but they did, and that's one of the issues that they've had this year is giving up key plays at key moments. So, like the overall yardage in the game wasn't bad. They held, have had all these 200-yard rushing games against them. They held them to 82 yards for rushing. Murray threw for 220, so it wasn't anything over the top. But again, the first 7 points for sure, and then the next 3 points. Helped in large part by the offensive interception. It gave them a spot at 10 points at that point. And then, like things like that, just not holding them to a field goal opportunity at the end of the first half. All those things just add up to too many points to have to overcome.
Well, now, will Szoke be in the booth for Sunday?
So, yeah, Sunday I'm back
Is
for
that
the
one
Atlanta
of those
game. And then on the next week we're at New England, so I'll actually go to New England, but that comes off a Thursday game for ECU, so no travel concerns getting up to Foxborough.
Right.
We have the Army game.
Right. But you will be in because you were scheduled to be in the booth. You were telling us
for Arizona.
We've had you on one of the 18 times. So, yeah, you go to Arizona, but it didn't work out because those flights from Conway to Glendale.
Yeah, the red eye from Conway to Glendale was not available.
Yeah, right. Not exactly a hub.
Well, shout out to Jordan Gross for filling in. Great job by Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan was great. We
all
love
right,
Jordan.
So the Falcons got a big win last night for them.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, gosh, there's nothing worse than watching the Falcons win. I guess the Yankees lost last night, so I get that. But yeah, we got those dirty birds coming into town, and man, we're gonna have to guard some guys over the middle, Jim, because I think that you said there was nothing over the top. And I knew you meant that figuratively, not literally, but our linebackers guarding those intermediate dig routes. Where is Frankie Louvu when you need him?
Washington, last I saw.
Yes, I'm aware.
Frankie was a good one. And you hate that, too, because that was one of those rare Matt Rule finds. We didn't have a lot of Matt Rule finds, but that was one of them, one of his couple guys that paid off.
Yeah.
Frankie's great. With losing Josie Jewell right before the preseason hurt, and so you get into your depth because Roseboom was going to be a backup linebacker as a starting linebacker. And I'll be honest, Trevin Wallace, he's kind of to me like the defensive version of Xavier Legette. Would like to see more out of him for what they touted him to be as far as he's got speed and hitting ability, but at times he doesn't seem to be where he's supposed to be with the defense out there. So as far as the young guys that you're going to build around for a while, your draft picks are who you control for a number of years, and you spend, first and second day picks on guys like that. You want them to pay off, and it's not, it's too soon to say it won't happen, but it's not happened yet. So for Trevin Wallace, I think that's kind of the key to the linebacker situation is a young guy that they felt highly about that also needs to kind of get better quicker.
We got Jim Szoke with us here. All right, let's talk the good part of the weekend. That was the Pirates. Convincing win, 38-0. I think there's some concern with running the football, but I thought the commitment to it and the creativity in staying committed to it this week was a little superior to maybe NC State. Now, again, level of competition, but you shut out a team that has its struggles. You blow them out and get a convincing win. So anytime you do that, I'm all for it. But that is one thing I could kind of take. And again, I think anytime we're going to have Mike Wright on the show tonight for the coaches show. I think anytime, Szoke, you can get Mike Wright involved in the offense, that really just gives you so much more to work with if you're JDB.
Exactly. Different packages where you get him in, maybe some even red zone and goal line situations. I mean, the way he ran that 18-yard touchdown run. And again, like you said, he wasn't playing NC State's defense there, but man, he was just like looked like bolts coming out of the cannon.
It's kind of exciting.
He was just,
yeah,
Usain Bolt kind of speed there. It was very, that size combination with that speed. I mean, that's a tough combination. There's a lot of different things. And I'm sure as we get into next week and then conference play after that, we'll probably get to do wrinkles, and you could change it every week and different things they put in special for each week. But yeah, what a weapon to have. And they've been trying to work in different things. Actually said in the Campbell game, they had some other stuff scheduled for him that they never got to in the Campbell game, didn't have to. But to your point about sticking with the run, I think the kind of eventually just broke the will of Coastal Carolina. Just kept staying with it because it was difficult, quite honestly, to run the ball for most of the night. But eventually they just kind of wore them down and ended up with almost 50 carries in the game, which is something you can only do if you got the lead, of course. So the fact that they were able to just play with the lead, stay committed to the run the clock down was nice, and hopefully they get more of that coming up here in the future.
Yannick Smith gets a couple of touchdowns. I thought he and some of the other guys on the perimeter did a nice job blocking on a Saturday night. And, I also thought it was kind of interesting to see Anthony Smith, maybe a little bit of an evolution to be a volume guy instead of a home run hitting guy with the pass receptions. Boy, if he could replicate that and all of a sudden you're going to him in different ways to get him as many touches as possible, I think that pays dividends in American play in a big way.
And that's been there all three games. In this one, it paid off
Sure.
with like the actual 11 receptions. There were times where he and Caton weren't quite in sync in that NC State game. Campbell, they didn't need him to do as much, but there were more opportunities if they needed it in the Campbell game. And it kind of, to your point, came to fruition with the 11 catches, 136 yards. Almost got that touchdown, got it down to the 3-yard line where we thought for a moment he got the touchdown there. So he'll get one. He hasn't got one yet, but like I said, Yannick got his first two. So it doesn't matter who scores, but it's great to see that. But yeah, Anthony is playing at a really high level right now, and seems like of the three teams we played at three different levels, nobody's been able to really cover him effectively. So that's obviously a great game breaker when you can get some big chunk yards out of a guy like that.
And the defense showed up, a handful of turnovers, 3 strips, a couple of interceptions, including one in the red zone. So you find yourself, Jim, anytime you can go on the road and kind of create extra possessions, again, a real positive. And I thought the defense, too, this week continued to take steps and also did what they needed to do as far as getting as many hats to the ball as possible.
Now, they tackled well, as you said. 5 takeaways is amazing. 6 quarterback sacks. And I like that move of putting J.D. Lampley inside of the defensive tackle, getting him and Isaiah Robinson on the field at the same time. Gives you a little bit big guys, but with that quicker twitch in there to make things happen and be disruptive. And eventually when you get McIver back out there, adds another big body into the middle of the defensive line. But, yeah, I like what we're seeing. And they're going to be playing, of course, a bigger offensive line, bigger defensive line, both sides of the ball with BYU this week. So we'll see how that holds up there. But I do like the athleticism they have on that defensive front.
All right, 2 more things for me. Pilk, you got anything for Szoke on the game the other night? Or
Yeah, Szoke, you mentioned they kind of wore down the BYU defense. The Coastal defense.
Yeah.
We've been talking BYU, sorry. As the game went on, but it still seemed to me like in the first half, I didn't feel like the run blocking was bad now that, that odd man position they got that they run. That's half the time he's a Mike linebacker, other parts he's a center field free safety. I think contributed some of that, but I still don't feel like the run blocking is quite where it's not a liability, but it's not where we want it to be, in my opinion, at least, to accomplish the goals that we need to accomplish, which would be a conference championship.
Absolutely. And I think, some of that is the blocking up front. And sometimes you need your running back to be better than the guy that's going to tackle him and shed that tackler. So it's a little bit of both. But sometimes you're right. If you're running between the tackles and it's just no daylight, there's not a whole lot you can do. You can't just bounce it to the outside. So it's a little bit of combination of things that just maybe got to look at it some different ways. I even think about down in the red zone that one time. We went full house backfield with the 2 big guys with the jumbo lineup at the tailback against Coastal and still couldn't get a yard. We turned it over on downs against Coastal in this game this past week. You're thinking, wow, we just put 2 blockers in the backfield ahead of the running back, and it still didn't pay off there. But I think, probably our best bet looks like it's still London Montgomery as far as maybe that guy that has the biggest burst. Parker Jenkins, kind of, still maybe acclimating a little bit at this time. Again, different competition, but kind of like a little bit, even though just TJ Engelman at the end there, what he could do maybe at some point during the course of the season. Because I think with, Marlon Gunn, he's more of your physical back, but who's going to be that guy that can turn the corner? If he gets through the first wave, take it for a big 20, 30-yard run. And it probably is still London Montgomery at this point. And as we said, sprinkle in some Mike right there where you can. You might be able to do some things from time to time. But in the traditional running game, Montgomery still seems like your best chance.
Yeah, it's interesting, too. Gunn does so many other things for this team beyond just play offense. All right, let's last thing on the Coastal thing, Szoke. The great Jim Szoke with us here today. Free concessions. Did you get it? Did you avail yourself of the free concessions at Coastal? Because I heard this was a myth from somebody who was there.
They have they have signage. There's free concessions. So what you got to do is sign over your life, and I did. So at lunchtime, I got, and I was going to do it just for the storytelling, just to say I did it, just to say I went. I went to a Charleston River Dogs game once just to get the beer float. I mean, I don't really want a beer float, but I had one just to be able to talk about I had a beer ice cream float. And so I loaded the app, and you put in your email, you give your social security, all this, you give your bank PIN number, everything, and I did it. And so I go out there with Andrew. I go, I just want to go. You get up to 4 items, and there's 4 small, like hot dogs, popcorn. There's just a few items you can get, but they're free with the app. I go down there. It's a line of students from there to Greenville, from Coastal to Greenville. It's lined up to 4 wide, 5 wide with students. So I would have been there till the third quarter. So I was going to do it just to come back and talk about it on the air, but there was just no opportunity.
And now when you get the text messages reminding you of Coastal's next home game, you'll know where you are.
He's going to be on the newsletter, all kinds of things.
Right.
Yeah, your email is going to be full.
Yes, of Coastal
I am
Carolina.
not buying season tickets for the Chanticleers. It's not happening.
Yeah. All right, so Bear Bachmeyer, I hope I have that right. Bear Bachmeyer.
Yeah, Bachmeyer, like Hank Bachmeyer, that's like Boise State.
Or Brockmeyer, like the great television show.
True.
But Bachmeyer, 47. When's the last time, Jim, you've called a game where the quarterback, if he's got a neck brace thing on, it's totally 90s two-way football player in high school. If he's got the old linebacker neck brace, because that's the only time you've seen somebody wear that number.
Yeah, I'm trying.
He's the first freshman ever to start a game at BYU. True freshman.
Pretty wild. They did have a little quarterback situation that we'll see at Tulane that began at BYU later this year that led to some of that.
Boy, if they had that guy at Tulane, good grief. Whew.
I remember Bernie Kosar, I think, wore 20 at Miami when he was quarterback at Miami Hurricanes. So there have been some guys that wear like higher than teens numbers. I'm sure there's a couple more I can't say in the modern era, but I can't.
Yeah, didn't Flutie wear 21 in college?
Yeah, but 20s are kind of...
That's still high.
Yeah.
47 is...
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's...
40...
Number 47 in your program, number 1 in your heart. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like long snapper numbers. So, yeah.
J.J. Jansen lining up at quarterback.
And do we call him number? Do we call him number 26 in the nation since in both polls are 26? Didn't quite make the 25.
Yeah, how about that? And then, of course, Notre Dame winless, but they stay in. It's wild. It really is.
That's
and
Notre
USF.
Dame.
I know it is. USF dropped. I don't know if they should have dropped all the way out. Maybe so, because Miami kind of put it on them after. Get this, Jim, a weather delay. Well, you know a little thing about that. So,
well, you go to one.
There
were a lot of people at that game. It wasn't like one person was at the weather delay.
Right.
I know, but he's doing that because I always give
the weather on me.
Bowling Green had a weather delay.
No, Miami and USF.
No, I know, but 1 week Bowling Green did it because Jim went to Bowling Green. Right. I blamed the weather delay on Jim. It's just we all pile on.
They had a weather delay last week.
I know, and like your point, it's Jim's fault.
Oh, it is Jim's fault.
The entire Southeast had a weather delay one day.
Yeah, and the entire Southeast did 2 weeks ago, except for us when we were hosting Campbell. We were the only team that didn't have
the only team that was playing.
Yeah,
no weather delay.
Maybe it wasn't.
Well, we live in Hurricane Alley. Things are going to happen here. It's just going to happen sometimes.
Hey! Hush your mouth, Jim. Let's not talk about that. Come on.
We had Hugo in Charlotte.
Weeks. We can get through this. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Were you in Charlotte yet, Jim?
That was like 2 years after I'd moved here. So that was 89
Okay.
maybe or something like that. So it was like, 2 years
Yeah, it was.
Oh, geez. Jeepers. All right. Well, there he is, the great Jim Szoke. Szoke, another productive appearance here on the Patrick Johnson Show, I'd say. And
productivity
it's always great to talk to you.
Always a few turnovers, but always productive.
Well, we get a lot of possessions. That's what we're a high volume possession team. We're like we're like Loyola Marymount. We just get up and down the floor. We run it, and whatever happens, happens. All right, thank you, buddy. Great to talk to you.
All right,
there
guys.
you go. I love that. All right, take care.
Take
There
it
he is.
easy,
Jim
Jim.
Szoke tonight will be heard on Panther Talk, I presume.
Yeah,
At
7
o'clock
Yep.
on 94.3 The Game. All right, when we come back, top five at 5, and we'll do it at top 5 at 5:35, because that's where we are right now. For tiebreakers, that Pilk will wrap up the show. It is the Patrick Johnson Show, and we'll be back after this on 94.3 The Game.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
At Parker's Barbecue, our family has been serving your family for 3 generations.
For that, we say thank you.
Blessing families every Thursday. Kids eat free all day. That's the Parker's way.
Legendary food served from our 3 locations. Always quick, always delicious. That's the Parker's way.
At Parker's, our mission is to impact our customers through Christ-like service in a way that feeds them both physically and spiritually. That is the Parker's way.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
This may very well be our last mission. Let's make it count.
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
It's impossible.
Now some stories you may have heard. Or catch it for the first time. This is your 5 at 5 with the P-Man.
All righty. Welcome in. Top 5 at 5. Patrick, Pilkington, Dom Kasulki, David Horn.
Trying to get David on. He's working hard. He's a hard worker.
Well, he's got to get us on the air. It's, when you're the network engineer, you actually have to get the network on the air.
I'm aware, but the thing is, I didn't get I didn't get to have my normal time with David Saturday, and so I'm missing him, and I wish.
Well, you're the one that went to Mr. Gallivanting around town, going to a wedding. Yeah. No,
I know you did.
How many weddings have you missed in the 20 years? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, missed a lot. Missed a lot of weddings, missed birthdays, missed funerals. That's part of the game day, Pill.
I know.
You're going to a wedding. Gallivanting Pilkington. All right, let's see here. We've got, what do we got? Give us the number, Pilk.
Well, our first story, number one, is the Pirates. 38-0 victors over Coastal Carolina after the game, or actually earlier today when he had his media availability. Head coach Blake Harrell just talked about how his team slowly chipped away at the Chanticleers.
I thought our guys did a really good job with their effort, and that's kind of what I'm most proud of. And I think we play harder and harder and harder each and every week, and I think we're getting better every single week. So just those guys keep going at it. At halftime, we just talked about a few things that we missed on in the first half, and they kept trusting the process. They kept just bringing it. We talked about early on in pregame about the storm, and how our hotel was on the beach. And you're looking out at the ocean, and you're seeing those waves come in, wave after wave. And we talked about what the waves look like in the storm and how they're relentless and how they keep bringing it. And we challenged our guys to bring it in the football game, just wave after wave, and keep bringing the storm. And I thought they did. They stuck to the plan. In the second half, that paid off. Wore Coastal down and had a big fourth quarter there as well.
I get an apt description of how they wore down Coastal. They kept coming at them, and the Pirates look like for the second time against the Chanticleers on the gridiron, the superior team.
They did, and they played four complete quarters. I know the first half wasn't maybe as pretty as the second, but there was a few things, a blocked field goal and just another drive that stalled out pretty deep in Coastal territory where you felt like you could have extended it even more. And, unfortunately, you didn't get to get 85 guys in the game like you did a week ago, but you still got to get some depth pieces in. You get to see some different guys get in at quarterback. So, overall, great team win. I thought offense, defense, special teams, as well as a good fourth quarter win. And like I said, you just kind of slowly chipped away, and that's what you want to see out of your team as a coach, especially a young football team. You don't want to get out there and, not that it's wrong to just kick the what out of them from the opening punch, but sometimes it's nice just to slowly chip away and feel like, hey, we were better in all 60 minutes of that game.
Yep. All right. Second one.
Number two, the ECU women's volleyball team split at the Tribe Invitational this weekend. They beat the host team, William and Mary, in 4 sets and fell to Liberty in 5 sets. Unfortunately, they did have a decent lead there in the 5th set, but they are now 7-1 to have their first home match tomorrow night when they host the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest.
Should be able to beat Wake Forest with as well as they're playing. Obviously, you can't. The only way you could be happier going into the game tomorrow would be if you were 8-0 rather than 7-1. Liberty's a very good program, very good team. I think be nice tomorrow to have a good crowd in there. They played very well. This is an exciting team. There were a lot of questions going into the year, but so far they have shown that they have been outstanding and have been aggressive, and they have done a lot of the things from a power and points perspective that were questions at the beginning of the year. There are also questions about the middles, but they've played very well. I'm excited about this ECU volleyball team, and man, it'd be great to beat Wake Forest tomorrow.
It would be. And, this is not a deep roster. And I don't mean that there's no depth. I'm saying there's just not a lot of bodies on the roster. No. With Alderete hurt, it's been a next woman up mentality. And I think they've answered that call so far through 8 games.
All right, we got the third one.
All right, number 3, the Carolina Panthers dig themselves a massive hole, but fight back last night. They do finally recover an onside kick. Only the third one since 1998 that the team has recovered.
Very excited about that.
I am. I was happy to see it. I was, oh, my goodness, got to see one. And Coach Canales, after the game, just talked about how he's proud of how his team fought, but they've got to start faster.
I love our guys. I love that we battled all the way to the end. Nobody quit. Everybody did what they were supposed to do. As we started to close the game, we have to be able to find a way to play that kind of football early on so we can see what we have. I believe in this group. I'm excited about this group and the players we have out there, but it's the mistakes. And I have to take full responsibility of that, first and foremost, for preparing our guys. And we got to get right back to work.
So that was Dave Canales, who muffed, punt off the side of his foot. How they handled the final minutes of the first half. 2 minutes of the first half.
Yeah.
So, it's the same thing every week. I don't know right now, and it's only 2 weeks, I get that, but I think we expected there would be a little more improvement, a little more sizzle. Now, the second half.
Yeah.
But now here's your other issue. You got two of your starters on the offensive line out a minimum of a month, probably much longer, maybe even for the season.
Yeah, I think Corbett, it's going to be month and a half, maybe two. I'm worried with Robert Hunt. You're probably not going to get him back.
That's probably done for the year.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because these are two. Also, it's not only that, but it's two teams you stood a chance to beat as far as the talent-wise go. I mean, this is the easier part of the schedule, which is frustrating. But, you mentioned it not getting better. The problem is it's one that you're going to have mistakes, you're going to have bad plays, but it's like their mistakes and their bad plays have been just, like, atrocious. Like, is this an NFL team even kind of mistake? I mean, you don't expect to win every play. I mean, I don't expect to win 73-0 like the Bears did to Washington in the 30-whatever NFL championship game, but you gotta play okay on these bad plays.
Speaking of NFL injuries, number 4.
Oh, my goodness, all the quarterbacks, they're hurt. Joe Burrow had toe surgery, or he's going to have it tomorrow. Maybe he had it today.
I think he had it today.
Yeah.
I think he did. He may
said
not
he's
have.
minimum going to miss 3 months. In other words,
done.
He done. Dom's guy, J.J. McCarthy, banged up. It sounds like he will be out next week.
That explains McCarthy's Don's already said the offensive line.
Yeah, and Jaden Daniels has had a knee issue, it sounds like, and he is questionable day to day to see whether or not he will play in week 3.
Right. We've discussed Purdy. I guess Justin Fields got hurt during the game.
Supposedly, but that was one of the. I think he was in concussion protocol as well.
Yeah.
But
and he was, as of today, he was still in concussion protocol.
Yeah, I don't know if he got hurt or there was just
put in protocol.
He made. Well, I didn't know if it was one of those. He made so many bad decisions. They thought there's got to be something going on. So we're going to naturally check the thing that does the thinking, and that's the brain. So I don't know if that's where the concussion thing came from, or he actually got hit. I don't know.
And you have Tyrod Taylor who replaced him.
Yeah.
Against Buffalo. No good situation for the Jets, is there?
No, I mean they haven't been in a good situation since Namath guaranteed the Super Bowl win since they stopped NFL MVP Earl Morrall and held him to 3 points.
Here's what I'm going to say about San Francisco and Mac Jones came in and still threw. Now it's the Saints,
yeah,
but he still had a very representative game.
He did.
So I don't think they're in as bad a shape maybe as we thought they were going to be.
His bad throws were bad, but he at least missed out of bounds, it seems like, on a lot of those, instead of missing high and over the middle. So I think you're right. They're not in a horrendous spot because the roster's still really good, right? Yeah. And he's not going to be out. Sounds like
he just needs to manage the situation, manage the game.
Don't mess it up. And I thought yesterday he didn't mess it up. He let the other 52 guys win the game.
Well, Cincinnati they're 2-0, I think, for the first time since 2018.
Yeah.
But if there's a team that's 2-0 right now that may not make it to the postseason, I think you got to put the Bengals at the top of the list.
Yeah, and it's partly the Joe Burrow injury, but it's partly you still don't trust this defense.
No.
Defense doesn't look any better than it did a year ago. I mean, that was a horrendous performance, so they were lucky to get the victory. And also, Jake Browning, is he my last option? No, but he sure as heck isn't my first. If I was them, I might be calling Carolina up and asking what they want for the Red Rifle Andy Dalton. See if get him back in a Bengals uniform, because right now, man, it just, the young man made some really good plays.
Right.
He also turned the ball over 3 times. He was very boomer bust.
Hey, Dom, I think if they were not all in on McCarthy, we were nearing the situation where, all right, one more bad half. But here's the problem. Where are they going to go? So now they have no choice but to do that. Where are they going to go?
I don't think you're correct on that one. I don't mean to go against you so hard, but I don't think he had a leash of another half. I think they were giving him at least half the season.
You thought he was good the last outside of one quarter. You think he's been good?
No, I'm not saying he's been good, but you're starting a 22-year-old quarterback off an MCL injury, and you're not going to expect him to go out and light it up in the first 2, 3, 4 weeks. Once you get 5, 6 weeks into the season, you're going to expect them to start getting better and better. You're without your
I'm just saying, if they had truly somewhere else to go, would you?
Yeah, but you can't bench the young man and kill his confidence.
That's not what you do. And Kevin O'Connell, he's a quarterback's coach. He is sticking with JJ. If JJ was not hurt, he would be sticking with him. I promise you that. It was a hip drop.
I agree with you. He would, but I'm just saying, would we be entering territory if you had another option? If you had a true another option behind him.
I think if you thought you were going to win a Super Bowl this year and like everybody on the team was old and aging, yeah, maybe. But like right now, like this year is to breed McCarthy to be a starting quarterback.
If we had the other option, we would have kept. We would have kept Darnold if this was the thought process. That's
who's the backup there in Minnesota?
Carson Wentz.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, I think he could beat the Bengals next week.
Oh yeah,
Jake Browning against Carson Wentz, baby.
I know, you were thinking it was Joe Burrow,
Pennsylvania.
JJ McCarthy, and now you're getting Browning and Wentz. It's cinema.
Give me Pennsylvania.
It is.
It is cinema next week. All right, Dom, don't quit talking now. We don't want to get a memo. All right, what do we got? What do we got?
I'll tell you what that means in a second. Number 5. Dang it. What was number? Oh, yeah. There have been 2 college coaches already fired. Deshaun Foster at UCLA. He gone. And the Virginia Tech coach, why am I drawing a blank on his name right now?
Brett Pry.
He gone. Both teams 0-3. Oof.
Both in a very embarrassing games because it was something like 30-0 Old Dominion in Blacksburg.
It was at one time.
And it was 25 or 35-10 New Mexico over UCLA. And there are more people in tiebreakers right now than there were in the Rose Bowl.
There haven't been, unless it's the Rose Bowl game, I think there hasn't been this many people at a Rose Bowl for UCLA in 20 years.
Destroyed the Pac-12, and now they're getting their come up. Better job, Virginia Tech or UCLA. And I'm going to tell you why you're wrong.
Right now, it's Virginia Tech.
No, it's UCLA.
Why?
Big Ten money.
True.
California recruiting base, Big Ten money. I think that's the better job.
But are they going to even put any of that money into football, or are they just going to sit on it?
They're going to have to.
It's true. That or get left behind, adapt or die. But, man, And
they don't like spending money out there in Westwood.
They don't.
But they're going to have to.
Yeah. The tough thing is, though, is you get good at Virginia Tech. You're going to be cream of the crop in the ACC.
I understand what you're saying.
Still gonna
but they're kind of like Miami was. They weren't good for the longest time.
Yeah.
Or they've not been good for the longest time.
Yeah.
Them days might be over. And I think it's a tougher sell there.
It probably is. And you're recruiting against more people on the East Coast, right? Whereas you're out in California, there's only so many schools.
I go back to this. The creation of a FBS program by Old Dominion, or just a football program in general, hurt Virginia Tech more than anybody because Virginia Tech lived in the 7-5-7.
They did.
And they had talent, depth of talent.
Yep.
There were guys. The reason their special teams were so good, there were guys that could be starters at other places that were waiting for their chance.
Mm-hmm.
And they would play on special teams. That's what they would do.
Yeah. And now those guys who weren't going to start right away are going to ODU or even being recruited by ODU's conference pros because they don't want ODU to get them.
But I'm just saying, of the people that are where Old Dominion is, where they kind of have this, they could offer, you're not going to Virginia Tech and waiting your turn.
Yeah.
You come to Old Dominion, be in your backyard and play immediately.
Exactly. So I think you're 100% right there. And that has hurt them. And look, so maybe you're right. Maybe it is the UCLA job that's better. I'm just thinking, man,
who's the next coach to go?
Oh, that's tough. It's probably if Florida doesn't get their jump together.
Billy's gone?
Billy's gone.
Billy Napier?
Yep.
I think you're right. All right. Thanks to Jim Szoke. Thanks to Pilk. Thanks to everybody here at Tiebreakers. Thanks to Dom Kasulki. Back tomorrow, we'll have a Houston Huddle.
We will.
For Healthwise Pharmacy.
Harold Huddle.
Harold Huddle. Whoa. Harold Huddle. Blake Harrell will join us here in a few minutes as well. Looking forward to that. All right. It is the Patrick Johnson Show. Thanks for being with us. And we'll see you tomorrow morning on Talk of the Town. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon at 5 with the Harold Huddle for Healthwise Pharmacy. And we'll see you in a few minutes for Inside Pirate Athletics.
It's time to soak up the savings at Greenville Toyota. Summer is here with hot deals on a great selection of new Toyotas, like a Corolla, $189 a month, or Tacoma, It's time to soak up the savings at Greenville Toyota. Summer is here with hot deals on a great selection of new Toyotas, like a Corolla, $189 a month, or Tacoma, $279 a month. Soak up the savings at Greenville Toyota.